As we are still processing the news that Windham Rotunda, better known as Bray Wyatt, passed away yesterday. Um, a very credible new news source for wrestling, Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful Select, has came out and provided some details as to what happened with Bray Wyatt. Um, this is the Twitter post that came out last night saying that Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda got COVID earlier this year that exacerbated a heart issue. Now, this was around the time when he was set to face Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. Um, but during that time, we just didn't have any idea of what happened. They really, I'm talking about like the family and WWE, really kept this medical information close to the chest. And, you know, and this is really, really sad to see because, like I said in the stream last night, he was set to return. He was medically cleared and he was set to return. Now, now we'll just never know, right? Now, they say there was a lot of positive progress towards a return and his recovery, and unfortunately, that heart attack, uh, took his life. And there's a lot of tributes that's been going around the discourse, whether it be from um, past performers and current performers, fans who have interacted with Bray Wyatt have offered their stories about their interaction with Bray Wyatt, and the assessment I had last night of what I thought what happened to Bray Wyatt was totally off. It was way off, and I'm glad I didn't speculate on what it was and waited until the facts came out, because what I initially thought was definitely not the case of what really happened. Um, so I wanted to provide some commentary, and I told you that I was going to provide commentary when I got word on what was his cause of death. Even though that's not the official autopsy report, but Sean Ross from Fightful Select is a very credible wrestling source. Um, More often than not, he has been very accurate on whatever happens within the landscape of wrestling. Now, also, I want to also report that um, tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown has been scrapped. So any ongoing storylines has been cannexed at least for tonight, um, which means that even though they're going to recognize Terry Funk, but I still think that tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown is going to revolve around Bray Wyatt. Even though they will acknowledge Terry Funk, because Terry Funk is a Hall of Famer, he's a hardcore legend. Many say that he is the inventor of hardcore wrestling. But Friday Night SmackDown is going to revolve around Bray Wyatt. We're going to see a lot of tribute videos. We're going to see performers don gear that's going to pay homage to Bray Wyatt. We might even see, a couple performers come out and and really pour their heart out in tribute to the late great superstar extraordinaire. Um, the Rotunda family has a very rich wrestling history. So if you think about the families that have a deep rooted um, family tree that is rich and draped in history, you got the Anawai family, right? You got the Rock, the Usos, the Head Shrinkers. You have you got Rikishi and Umaga. I mean, it is a deep, rich line of wrestlers that from that family. And then you have the Rhodes family, obviously with Dusty Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, um, um, I forgot the other members of the Rhodes family. And then you have the Rotunda family with Bray Wyatt's grandfather, Blackjack Mulligan, and then you got Barry Windham, who was a member of the um, Four Horsemen at one point or another. His uncle Kendall Windham. Matter of fact, Barry Windham himself had an episode with heart issues, and Bray Wyatt, prior to him succumbing to his own heart issues, mentioned something about Barry Windham almost being taken out of here. So you got Mike Rotunda. Mike Rotunda is most famously known as IRS or Irwin R. Shyster. He is the father to Bray Wyatt, right? Then you got the Armstrongs, the Armstrong family, and then you got the Flairs, and then you got the Andersons with Arn Anderson and his brother Ole Anderson. So, and then the Ortons. You got Cowboy Bob Orton, his son Randy Orton, right? So, and then who can ever forget the Hart family, right? Bret Hart, and then you have Jim the Anvil Neidhart and his daughter Natalia, the British Bulldog who married into the Hart family, right? And then you had Davy Boy Smith, um, and Tyson Kidd, all those families, right? So there's a deep rooted, rich history when it comes to um, the families of wrestling, and the Rotunda family is definitely part of that mix. I ain't even mentioned Bo Dallas, right? Bo Dallas was a former NXT champion at one point, and as the brother to Bray Wyatt. So it still stings. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. This still stings because I had expectations of Bray Wyatt coming back at one form or another. I didn't know to what capacity he was going to come back or to what wrestler he was going to engage with upon his return. Maybe he could have finished business with Bobby Lashley and his newfound Hurt Business 2.0. That's why I call it. But we will never know now because unfortunately he is no longer with us. Um, so I expect both promotions, WWE and AEW, even though Bray Wyatt has no ties to AEW, but a lot of the wrestlers that were at WWE, like the Cesaros and the Chris Jerichos and the Hardys. They have association with Bray Wyatt, and also they also has ties with Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper. That's the character name. That's not his real name. So I know earlier today I was before I came online, I watched a lot of his promos, and I watched his return match at SummerSlam when he debuted as the Fiend going against Finn Balor, and the character was just so mesmerizing. It was very captivating. When the lights go out and everyone use their cell phones, the light off their cell phone, and he calls it the Fireflies, and he would come out and he would have that lantern, and then he would blow out the lantern before the lights come back on. And it's like the only other talent that would mesmerize you like that is the Undertaker. The Undertaker. When the lights go out and the fire um comes out of the stage and all that, he comes out in that all black hat and the all black uh trench coat, and you hear that bong, you knew that was the Undertaker. Just like when, like I say, with the Fiend or Bray Wyatt, when that light goes out, he comes out with the lantern, and everyone has their cell phone lights on, and they waving it around, and he calls it the Fireflies. That's the kind of same effect that he had. His promos were had you. It basically had you questioning things in a good way. His his delivery, his work ethic, his creativity was just so good on so many levels. It had people talking, and I really think that had they not dropped the ball with the booking and other backstage politics, that this Bray Wyatt character would have been on the same level as the Undertaker and as the other wrestling greats. And he's going to be missed. And it'll be interesting to see how both WWE and AEW will pay tribute to Bray Wyatt. Um, Now I don't know what show AEW is going to um, tribute. I don't know if they're going to have any kind of. I don't know if they're going to pause the storyline for Bray Wyatt like WWE will. I don't know if they're going to. But I do know they're going to have people come out and tell stories about Bray Wyatt and you know things that they did behind the scenes and things of that nature. But I don't know if they're gonna like actually pause storylines like how WWE, like they already came out and said that any and all storylines have been paused for the night. Um, Now will be interesting to see if this also carries over to Raw. We gotta see if this also carries over to Raw on Monday night. But I just wanted to stop by real quick drop this video. I know I rambled on for a little bit longer than I should have, but I just wanted to provide that piece of news regarding Bray Wyatt and what was his cause of death. So um, I know also people were talking about bringing back Eric Rowan and Bo Dallas, and there was another wrestler they were talking about bringing back also, but I can't remember who was the third person. But I don't know if they'll be up for that, especially his brother Bo Dallas. I don't know if Bo Dallas will be up to come back tonight, given how heavy the situation is. And Eric Rowan works for AEW. Well, he's not gonna. They're not gonna let him return. But then again, they might. We'll see. We'll see. Given how I personally lost a sibling, I can only imagine how he feels right now, or I can relate to how he feels right now. And I don't know if he'll have the mental capacity to be at an arena tonight. Now, if he does, then that'll be amazing within itself. But all I know is when you lose a family member, especially if your family member is close, whether it be a sibling or aunt, uncle, mom and dad, whoever, right? People have their way of healing and people have their way of coping. Some can go down an even darker path. Others may take other paths to coping and healing. But I'll be surprised if Bo Dallas shows up tonight, or anyone in the Rotunda family shows up tonight in that matter, especially the father. I can't imagine a parent having to bury their kid. Normally, we have children to have the kid outlive us, not to see us bury our kid. So I can only imagine what Mike Rotunda is feeling right now, or aka Erwin R. Shyster. He was part of that tag team with Ted DiBiase, Money Inc. They were former tag team champions at one point. But yeah, this is this is a heavy situation, very heavy situation, and it's also a very delicate situation given how fresh it is, how popular Bray Wyatt was, and I just want to say, man, may he rest in peace, and may his legacy carry on through his children. His oh, that's another thing I got to make a correction from last night. That that Bray Wyatt and JoJo was married, but they're not. They were fiancés. They were engaged to be married, but they did have two children. Um, oh, that's Luke Harper's name, John Huber. John Huber, that's his name, John Huber. I did a video by his passing when that happened. So and that was close to 3 years ago. But John Huber, aka Luke Harper slash Brody Lee. Man, I mean, what could have been with the Wyatt family had WWE not dropped the ball on that faction? What could have been with that? Mm-mm-mm. Braun Strowman should make. I think he'll probably make an appearance tonight. I think Braun Strowman will make an appearance tonight. He did a lengthy tribute to Bray Wyatt on his social media account. Um, Now I don't think Braun Strowman is going to wrestle because Braun Strowman has had surgery recently to repair a back injury. So I don't think Braun Strowman is going to wrestle, but I do think he'll make an appearance, and he probably will, to some degree, pay tribute to Bray Wyatt. Now, typically, what will happen is on SmackDown or Raw or wherever, whenever a wrestler passes away, they'll do the 10 bell toll, and probably either Vince McMahon or Triple H will say something to the crowd, and they'll do the 10 bell toll. So expect that tonight, and they're going to be video tribute packages, and they're going to be um couple matches that will honor Bray Wyatt. But it's going to be emotionally charged. I don't know if I have the mental capacity to watch it. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you because I mean, I don't like to see people die. I just don't. I know that's just me. When I when I was in the military, I say about 10 years ago, and my division officer passed away. He died from a heart attack, and this was in the middle of deployment that this happened. So like, I was getting ready to go to bed because I had to get up for watch the next day, and the captain basically called everyone to the mess decks. Not to the mess hall. No, we had to go to the helo hangar. This is like at 1:30 in the morning overseas, and we got the word that he had passed away. My division officer. He was getting ready, he had just put on lieutenant prior. He was getting ready to transfer to go to a new command, and just like that, life is over. Just like that. So I say that to say this, even though it's kind of off topic to some degree, to whoever is watching this video, whoever's going to watch this video later on, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at in the world. Yeah, he did have 5 kids. Because he had 3 kids from previous marriage when it comes to Bray Wyatt. So thanks for that information, Ted Cox. He had 5 children in total. Bray Wyatt did. But what's up, y'all? I see y'all up in here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Take nothing for granted. Take nothing for granted. Because they could all be gone. No matter what situation you're in, whether you be a guy who's down on his luck and don't have nowhere to go, have no options and no hope, to the guy who thinks or gal who thinks she's on top of the world because she might have 1 million subscribers, a lot of money coming in, popularity, fame, all that stuff. Take nothing for granted because they could all be gone. Just like that. You don't know what time, you don't know what day, you don't know what situation that will cause your life to end. But for the time that you do have left here, whatever deity you pray to, whatever your religion is, take nothing for granted. always maximize the opportunities that might come across, because you don't know when or if that's going to be your last opportunity. If you have to mend fences with people, mend those fences. I know I got fences I have to mend myself. I'm not above reproach here. I got fences for myself I have to mend. But whatever it is, take the time to repair whatever you have to repair, whether it be your finances, whether it be your marriage, whether it be a cohabitation, whatever it is. Take the time to mend those fences, because you don't know when it might be your last. And I'm going to end on this note, because this is something I have not done enough. And I want to thank each and every one of you who subscribe to my channel, who talk shit about me, who um who who rock with me, right? Who don't rock with me. It's all good at the end of the day. And I hope you do find the peace you need to find in your own life, right? And I don't take this for granted. This, what I'm doing here on these YouTube streets, this is nothing I take for granted. This is nothing that I take lightly. Um, you guys are why I have the voice I have. Otherwise, I'll just be another individual just talking shit on YouTube. But for the people who rock with me since day one, like the Craig J's and the Rondé William Roars and the Stevie J, to the new subscribers that might have just found me yesterday, when I'm going at it with that George Jefferson stunt double, Stephen A. Smith, or whatever coon that's sitting up here buffooning or whatever. At the end of the day, I thank you for lending me your ears to be your voice. And this is nothing I take for granted. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I love I love each and every one of you. Even you fucking haters out there that can't stand my voice, even you trolls out there that want to take a pot shot at me every chance you get. It's all good in the neighborhood. Because whether or not you want to believe it, you cockroaches and you trolls out there give me life. You give me purpose. You give me cause to do what I do. So with that, thank you for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. And rest in peace to Bray Wyatt. Once again, my condolences goes out to his friends and his family and his fans.